All right, let's just jump right in. Something huge is happening in the world of finance right now, and it's way more than just new apps or slicker websites. We're talking about a fundamental rewiring of the industry's entire nervous system, all thanks to two incredibly powerful forces, the cloud and artificial intelligence.
So have you noticed this? Your bank, it's starting to act a lot more like a tech company, right? With the constant push for mobile apps, the chatbots, the instant alerts. Well, it's not your imagination. The whole industry is smack in the middle of a radical transformation. It's moving away from old-school, clunky infrastructure to a new, intelligent, digital-first world. And to really get why this is happening, we've got to look back at how broken the old way of doing things really was.
So before we can appreciate all the cool new stuff, we have to understand the system it's replacing. For decades, the way big companies, especially in finance, handled their computing was built on a model that was, frankly, buckling under the pressure of the modern world.
These three words, they really say it all. The old model meant every bank had to buy and maintain its own giant, expensive servers in its own private data centers. This was incredibly slow to adapt. Need more power? That's a months-long project. It required tons of manual work just to keep the lights on, and it was a huge target for both physical and digital threats. It just wasn't built for the speed of today.
Okay, so how do you fix a problem that big? Well, you don't just buy slightly faster computers. You need a whole new economic model for technology. And that's where the cloud comes in. And listen, the cloud is so much more than just a place to store your photos. It's a completely different way to think about the engine that runs a business.
This right here is the absolute core of the shift. It's moving from capital expenditure, or CapEx, to operational expenditure, OpEx. I love this analogy. The old CapEx way is like deciding you need electricity and then going out to build your own personal power plant. I mean, just imagine the insane upfront cost. The new cloud model, OpEx, is just paying your monthly electricity bill. You use what you need, and you only pay for what you use. Simple.
And here's the magic behind why this works so well. It's all about something called economies of scale. We're talking massive, massive scale. Cloud providers don't buy a few servers, they buy them by the truckload, by the tens of thousands. They build their data centers where electricity is cheap. They become the world's experts at running these things efficiently. No single bank, no matter how big, could ever hope to match that. And all those savings, they get passed right on down to the customers.
Now, this whole cloud thing isn't just one product. It's more like a menu. I think the best way to explain it is with a pizza analogy. Stay with me here. First, you've got infrastructure as a service. That's like renting the kitchen and the pizza oven. You have to bring your own dough, sauce, cheese, all the ingredients. Then there's platform as a service. Here, you get the kitchen, the oven, and the pizza dough is already made for you. You just need to add your own special toppings. And finally, software as a service. Well, that's just ordering a pizza. It shows up at your door, ready to eat. It's all about choosing how much of the work you want to do yourself.
Okay, so once you have this incredible, flexible, super scalable foundation, the cloud, you can start building some truly amazing things on top of it. And the most revolutionary thing being built on that foundation right now, you guessed it, artificial intelligence.
And we are not talking about some sci-fi future here. AI is already running behind the scenes in your bank today. That text you get when there's a weird charge on your card, that's AI spotting fraud in real time. That chatbot that answers your questions at 2 in the morning, AI. It's automating risk and, get this, it's reading and understanding millions of pages of documents in the blink of an eye.
Let's just double-click on security for a second, because this is a really big deal. The old way of catching fraud was based on a simple list of rules, but criminals are way, way smarter than that now. AI doesn't just follow rules. It looks for patterns, for anomalies in behavior. Honestly, it's the only thing that stands a chance against really sophisticated threats like deepfakes or totally made-up synthetic identities that look completely real to an older system.
And if you want a killer real-world example, look at JP Morgan. They built a platform called Coin, that's for contract intelligence. What used to take an army of lawyers literally thousands and thousands of hours to review, Coin now does in seconds. And it's not just faster, it's more accurate. That is just incredible.
All right, so that's the 1-2 punch. The cloud is the foundation and AI is the brainpower on top. But that's all just theory, right? What about the actual numbers? What are the real-world results? Well, let's take a look.
Okay, check this out. A company called Quantum Bank used an AI platform to completely redo their loan system. The result? They cut down the time it takes to process a loan by 70%. 70! If you've ever had to anxiously wait for a loan to get approved, you know what a massive game changer that is. But it wasn't just about speed. I mean, being faster doesn't mean anything if you're making bad decisions. But the AI was also smarter. Because its risk models were so much better, the bank actually saw a 15% drop in people defaulting on their loans. That makes the entire bank safer and more stable. Here's another one for you. Prosperity Financial Group. They started using these automated smart contracts to handle their financial agreements. Just by doing that, they sliced their processing errors by half. 50%. That means fewer headaches, less risk, and the whole operation just runs that much smoother.
This one might be my favorite. We're talking about a company called Orion Leasing. For them, the most important thing is the time to yes, how long a customer has to wait to get financing approved. It used to be 10 minutes, which honestly is not bad. But with their new system, they got it down to less than 20 seconds. From 10 minutes to under 20 seconds. That is the instant world we live in now.
Okay, so the verdict is in. The financial industry is faster, it's smarter, it's way more efficient. But, with great power comes great responsibility. The story doesn't end here. The next big chapter is all about managing this incredible new power, both financially and for the planet.
You see, when you go from buying servers every few years to basically paying a utility bill every month, you have to track your spending in a totally new way. And that's where this new discipline called FinOps comes from. It's really about getting everyone, the tech people, the finance people, the business people, all in the same room looking at the cloud bill and asking, are we getting the most bang for our buck? It's financial accountability for the cloud age.
And it's not just about the financial cost. There's a huge and growing focus on the environmental cost too. This has led to the idea of green clouds. The whole goal is to make these gigantic data centers as sustainable as possible. We're talking about everything from super efficient cooling systems to running them on 100% renewable energy, like wind and solar power.
And this isn't just talk. The numbers are pretty mind-blowing. A 2020 study found that even though the amount of computing that data centers are doing shot up by 550%, the amount of energy they used only went up by 6%. That's just incredible efficiency. It proves we can have this massive technological growth without a massive environmental footprint.
So there you have it. We've gone from a system that was slow, manual, and vulnerable to one that's lightning fast, intelligent, and getting more sustainable every day. Which brings us to one final, really big question to leave you with. What happens next? I mean, what does it mean for your relationship with money when it becomes totally automated, predictive, and truly intelligent? What does that future look like?